Project Independence in You, Community Talk Radio on 88.1 FM and WCWP.org. I'm Rebecca Miller, along with Kristina Liu. We are in the segments Talk of the Town, where we learn what's going on in the town. And Kristina just learns everything before the show, what's going on in North Hempstead and with Project Independence. But first, I must share during the break after Andrea's last segment, Kristina and I discussed how starving we are, talking about food. So she's looking at a big bowl of food on her dining room table, and I've got like a granola bar over here, which is not cutting it.
Yeah, we're gonna need to do some kind. Maybe we'll in 2023 we'll have like an interactive cooking segment. So.
Yeah, we should do that.
Yeah, I can't do any kind. All these food topics we have on just put me right over the edge. It's the morning and I'm starving. So, but great tips. I think my paper has a lot of all of my tips jotted down, and I just think it's great that to check out and see the different programs she has, because she mentioned she's at libraries a lot. So, you can call 311. We'll get you connected to Andrea. With what's coming up, because I think it's certainly good, and I think it's just the overall message is to be like open-minded. I think we all have things that we like and that we know we like, and we don't really like to veer off the course of things. But I love a spin on something you like that makes it a little healthier, which is certainly cool, because all those desserts sound great. I really want to try the chia pudding. Never had chia pudding. I love pudding. So I'm gonna have to try that out now. That might have to be my thing. So, and I do love a good parfait. And I always think about, when I think about a parfait kind of situation, I do think about your mother, Beck, because I remember when we were starting, she always had her yogurt. She had some granola, and she had like her strawberries and blueberries in her little container. And like every day when we were working in Roslyn, she would have that. So it just that always kind of pops in my brain. But good stuff. Good.
Yeah, it was good. And like I was telling her, I really like that, she had different options for snacks and things that are much more healthy. Because honestly, my mother makes an incredible sweet potato pie with the little marshmallows on top every Thanksgiving. And it's almost too sweet.
Yeah.
Because it has a little graham cracker pie.
I know, because I'm weird. I don't like the marshmallows. I never did. I just like the plain sweet potato.
It doesn't even need it at all, but I like a little crispy sauteed apple on top, like just changes it up,
And and that's just so delicious, because I was thinking about that it just clicked in my brain. I was like, why don't I do that more often? Especially when like your apple is, kind of running out of its shelf life, you could tell when it's starting to go.
Absolutely.
And I think that that's something that I would love to learn more about, because, the fact that Andrea said she's really big on like not wasting food. And I think we're all certainly guilty of kind of going down that road. You forget about like what's sitting in your fridge half the time. But I think like there are ways to kind of maximize and utilize it. So it's I think it's just, the bottom line is don't be scared, right? Get creative. It's something that you can kind of have a little freedom in the kitchen. So.
And if you do have a lot of fruit that's kind of turning, even especially bananas, you can freeze them and cut them up and then use them in your smoothies. So, if you've had your blueberries a little long, or your strawberries, just clean them, put them in a bag and freeze them, and then drop them in,
It is. And I think, as far as our, audience with our seniors, and, the soup, I think, is a great thing. I know, like, it's such an easy thing. I know with my grandparents and even my parents, like, love a soup, especially this time of year. And that, buying it is so incredibly salty, as we all know. And that's when you get yourself into trouble, because it tastes great, because it's like filled with so much sodium. So by doing these things and cooking, and you can make it in bulk and, and put it in your fridge, so then you can have it for lunch the next day. So it's really, because that's such a great point that you brought up, is, a lot of these seniors are either one of them or two of them. And it's just so exhausting. I mean, I know for myself, it's exhausting to like come up with a creative new meal every day, and you got to buy all the ingredients, and I think that you can do this and have really rich nutrients that are natural. So there's just different little things you can do, which I'm glad that Andrea told us. So glad to be back at
yeah. Yeah,
And
she's
next
great.
week we have on, which I'm super excited about, we have Susan Caperso, who is our end of a life doula legacy creator. She's going to just discuss what that exactly means. I had heard about this in some meeting we were in, and I was like, I love this topic, because we're certainly all about that. And I laugh because I do feel, that we might be trendsetters on this show, because we'll be talking about things and all of a sudden they're like the hot topic, not to toot our own horn, but I'm just saying, I feel like we put mindfulness on the map, Project Independence and you. But
I have to agree.
I keep getting ads for this book, and I can't remember what it's called, but it's such a great concept, and it's like prompts that get sent to, your relative, and it's usually for like your parent or your senior. So every day, you'll get like an email saying, with a question, and you fill it in, and then for however long you do this for, they'll put it in a book. So you end up with this book, that's you can pass along your family. And listen, I'm definitely going to be buying this for someone, because there's nothing I love more than, a keepsake. And I think it just got me thinking, like, this is such a great thing for, someone, because it's not overwhelming. You're not sitting out there, pouring your heart and soul, but you get these little prompts, and this way, you can pass it down to your family, and it's certainly beneficial, as we know. So I'm excited for December 9th, December 16th. We have on Barbara Paskoff and Carol Pack, who are co-authors of a book called Over 60 Shades of Gray, the Book of Lists. They were on our show when they came out with their first book many, many years ago. So they reached out to come on with their second. So I'm excited about that. And then, of course, we have the holidays, which I cannot believe, the holidays are seriously here, and we're going to be in the new year pretty soon. I don't even know how that's possible. I was laughing at work because when we got our calendars for 2023, I was like, I feel like I just got my 2022 calendar. So
you just got used to writing 2022, right?
Right. Now I'm just like, gotta get, thrown up. But we have I scheduled January shows. We have a lot of great subjects. We have one of my favorites, which is stress management in the new year. We're gonna have a social worker will be on talking about that. And then we have that same day, Mark Breyer, who is a comedian who has him and two of his friends do laugh out loud comedy for seniors. So they will be on for Talk of the Town. And then we have AAA will be talking about winter driving safety. Hopefully we don't have snow. I'm still holding out, fingers crossed. And then January 20th, we have on an organization called Long Island Housing Services, which is really a great resource out there. And then January 27th, we have a doctor from Northwell Health doing staying informed and in control of your own healthcare tips from your neighborhood general surgeon. So we got quite a variety of stuff coming up back. I'm sure there might be some surprise guests along the way, but we have a really wide range. So we're going to be just full of so much knowledge starting off 2023. So I'm excited about that as well.
It's just amazing how many, all the different themes, all the different guests that we get on, all the different topics. And you were saying, we're like a trendsetter, and we definitely are, because I find that when we hear other organizations and they talk about what they do, I'm like, we've been doing that, for
just saying
20 years. We do that. Oh yeah, but it's, it is interesting because it's all within that aging in place concept. And some places or things may not even realize that.
Yeah, absolutely. What the actual need, and I think about that all the time with PI. I mean, we still have our surveys that someone fills out, they can fill out when they are signing up, and you're constantly getting new information, and I think that that's why, we're trendsetters, is because for so many reasons. But one of the main reasons is, that we're in it, like, so this program has been going on now for many, many years. So we've kind of seen firsthand where the trends are going, and I think about that, just for example, with technology. When we started this program, talking about a computer, and there was a question on the survey saying, do you have access to the internet? Do you have access to a computer? And it was like, no, no, no. and now, I mean, it's mostly yeses, which is really, you're seeing that, that shift. I mean, they might not know how to turn it on, but it's there. And I think, that kind of geared us to have these technology for the terrified courses. We had a conference that we had that wonderful speaker, Abby Stokes, who did, who talked about being scared of technology. So there's so many great and an interest in it. I get so many phone calls recently because Barbara Melman just did a technology for terrified a couple of weeks ago. When is she scheduled again? So it's really become a thing that people are interested in. So it's just it's really what makes it special to pay attention and to have these kind of collaborative conversations we have with our North Hempstead seniors to gear programming and see what they're interested in. So
I mean, like we talk about this all the time, you want to offer or provide or connect seniors to the resources that you have in your town, but you first have to make sure what the interest is.
Yeah, right.
What the needs are. And we've done that since day one with our advisory boards.
Yeah.
And like we always say, it's very different what people's needs are, even within North Hempstead, where
Right.
Some areas we have a lot more apartment buildings, some areas we have homes that are a little more spread out, and which is a little more complicated for a senior. So it's just kind of understanding what you have in your area, but also what the seniors are looking for. And that's why I think we're so successful. I mean, of course, we have a terrific staff too. Everybody on our staff is just so dedicated to, the things they do. And even this, maybe we could talk about, we had a little in-service a couple of days ago.
I was just literally just going to say that, Beck, and that came out of our advisory.
Right.
And, Joel Zeb, one of our members, reached out and said, do you guys know about CapTel? Which we all knew, about it, but to meet with them and to have, we had such a great in-service. So it was our DOSA staff and our human service staff. And the CapTel is a closed captioning phone for people with hearing loss or, that can't at all, but need to be able to speak.
And no cost.
At literally no cost. And no charge. There's no, you're not going to get a tax. There's no little hidden fee. It's literally a phone that's paid for by the FCC. If you are in need or someone that is in need, if you call 311 or 516-869-6011, you will be connected to one of our social workers or nurses, and they are qualified to sign off if they think you have a need for this and send it in, and then the person from the company will come in and put it in. And it's such a compact, clear phone. I mean, the print is large. We have a demo.
Yeah, we have a demo.
And that's what was really great. They loved us so much. They gave us a demo phone. But it's and I think it's wonderful too, because our social worker and nurses can bring it to show you, if they have a home visit or if you come into our office to see, because it's really, I was so blown away, and I knew about it generally because we've had health chats, about it, but to really have a full in-service and find out all the capabilities, and there's an app and you could actually use your computer, if you're traveling, there's so many different kind of layers to it. And it was just so great to learn about. And I was thinking, this came out of a suggestion from our advisory, and now our social workers and nurses have that part of their, toolbox. I saw Andrea, one of our social workers, making all these copies of it, because she was going to bring that when she has these in-services with different clients. So it's, we're all about building our toolbox. And I mean, there's no better way to say it, that this became, and that's what this radio show is too. We're just taking these, great resources and throwing it in, because knowledge is power, people. And that's what we're here to do. So yes, I'm so glad you mentioned that, Beck, because I was literally looking through my paper. So if you are interested in finding out more information about the CapTel phone, please just call 311 so we could connect you. Also, we have today, Friday, December 2nd, if you were listening to this live, is our first Christmas tree lighting in North Hempstead. That's going to be at Mary Jane Davies Green, which is right on Plandom Road in Manhasset. And there's a whole bunch of stuff going on there, right, Beck? Do you know? I think might be some hot cocoa. And
Yeah, I mean, it does seem like there's a lot. And if anybody wants any more information, they can always call 311. I know Community Services has been prepping for it, and our office is like the staging place before they actually go out, and it's very colorful, and they're working on a lot of great fun things for
it's like
the
Santa's
event.
workshop over at Clinton G. Martin Park, you know?
And the program they're going to be singing, so the program they're giving out has all the words to the song, so you
Oh,
could
that's
go
great.
along with it. I wish I had the program here, because I was surprised some of these holiday songs that I thought I knew the words for, even those songs, I was getting some of the words wrong. So
so you could bring it home this weekend, Beck, and
yeah,
brush up
I'll
on
have
it.
to grab a program.
And then if you can't make tonight, you can go. There's a winter holiday celebration on Friday, December 9th at 5 p.m. That's over at Yes We Can Community Center. And then the Hanukkah Festival will be on Sunday, December 18th at 3 p.m. at Mary Jane Davies Green as well. So if you want more information, call 311 on that.
All right. Well, you know what?
Flying through the show today.
A good time to take a quick break. We'll be right back with Kristina Lou and Talk of the Town. You're listening to Project Independence in You, Community Talk Radio on 88.1 FM and WCWP.org. We will be right back after a quick break.
Take WCWP with you wherever you go with the WCWP app. Listen live 24/7 to all of our streams, all from one app. Plus, call the studios directly from the app and visit our social media. Download the app through the iOS App Store on Apple devices or the Google Play Store on Android by searching WCWP Radio, or visit WCWP.org for links. The WCWP app, available now on iOS and Android devices.
And welcome back to Project Independence in You, 88.1 FM and WCWP.org. I'm Rebecca Miller along with Kristina Lou. We're in our Talk of the Town segment, and just finding out what all is going on in the town of North Hempstead. The list goes on and on. And, it's not just what's going on in the town. I mean, the town has a lot of fabulous things going on. But Project Independence has so much stuff going on. Kristina, I'm looking through our list. It just doesn't end. And it's so wonderful. And, I want everybody listening to know is, if you're 60 or over and you live in the town of North Hempstead, you can call 311 or 516-869-6311 to find out any information, anything you want to know about events that are going on in North Hempstead, or anything going on specifically about programming at Project Independence. Happy to connect you. There's a calendar on the website. We have newsletters.
Yeah, and I just want to remind people, speaking of the newsletter, our December one just got sent out. So what's great about our email newsletter is that it's sent out monthly. So if you have access to an email, or even if wanting to your family member or someone does and they want to be added to the list, you can just call 311. That'll come over to me, and I will make sure, and that's speaking of how, things have grown. We've been doing this for a few years now, the email newsletter, and every month I gather, because I'm just all about growing the list and our reach. I gather all new emails that came in, whether if you registered or a survey came in or someone that's been on the radio show or just emails that have come my way. We have like over 4,600 emails now on the email list, which is so cool, because I remember when it was just a couple of hundred, and it's really great how it grows. And I want people to know, if you don't have access to an email either, you can call 311, and I certainly will be more than happy to print out the email newsletter and mail it to you, which I do to a lot of seniors out there. So just call, and we'll let you know what's going on, because there really is such wonderful programming that's happening. So back to the programming, I have to announce that just a couple of weeks ago, we had on Kate Beckman, who was talking about how her cabaret performances that she's doing. It's going to be, the next one is Sunday, December 4th at 3 p.m. at the Port Washington Public Library, and she's doing her cabaret is going to be toasting the holiday season with critically acclaimed vocalist Kate Beckman and musical director Eric Baum, and their new cabaret celebrating the gifts of family, friends, home, good food, optimism, and music. So if you are available, call 311. We'll give you any more information on that. But I think it's fun to do these kind of little holiday things. You know, I mean, I know myself, I've just been like knee deep in holiday trying to get my, it's like, oh my God, it's here. And I'm every, day I'll come home from work and I'm like, all right, I got to do something around the house. So I've been kind of piecemealing, trying to get my stuff. And we finally got all of our greenery yesterday after work. So I'm just really going to dedicate myself to that. But I think, we get so caught up in like, oh my God, all the stuff you have to do, and then the presents, and then the planning. I mean, it can be a little overwhelming for people. And I just always encourage you to just take time and really just enjoy the holiday season, and whether it's going to, these holiday celebrations or Christmas tree lightings or, the Hanukkah menorah celebration that they're doing. And then something like this, the cabaret, have a little fun, right? It's about kind of being with your friends and family and celebrating. So definitely check that out if you are in the area. And Beck, I had to share with you. So we're very big on advent calendars in my house. It's been my thing forever and we don't age out of it. I actually make I wrap a little present a day, and it can be something simple. My husband is easy because he loves a good preparedness, right? So if we have a bunch of cans of soup and different things, if the end of the world comes, we have that. So he's very easy. He's very content with that. And then there's just little kind of gadgets. So I wrap that up every day for him. And I made my mom, excuse me, a cookie cutter a day. But my mom gave me this adorable like little jar that she got. I don't know if anyone could see it if you're watching the video. And it is called the Mindfulness Advent Calendar. Which
I like it.
So each day you pull it out. And the first one I got yesterday was performing a secret act of kindness. And it was just telling you, it gives you a little blurb.
Oh, that's beautiful.
About it. And it was just, just something to do like this holiday season. So I was like, this is so great. What a great. And it was
Where'd you get it from?
I think she got it like from Amazon. So I'm definitely, I just thought it was a nice little thing, to open up. And yesterday I said, what, cool, I'm going to, and I was laughing at my husband. I said, I do this all the time. But it's just a little reminder to do that. So I'm excited to find out what my second one will be today. But it's something that I'm going to keep, these little things, because I think sometimes we just need a little reminder, because things are not easy all the time. So to kind of just do these things and to be present and just mindful is our thing. So I had to share that because I know that's our big thing. And I'll have to show Otto when he is on, because I know it'll be up his alley too. So I think leading up to the holidays every Friday, I'm going to have to share what I get in my jar, and we could all practice it as well. So
I love that.
Speaking of good around, yeah, right.
Good
around the holidays is we have the North Hempstead is doing 2 different donation drives. There's going to be there is the Toys for Tot toy drive, and there's a bunch of different locations throughout North Hempstead. We're just asking that someone brings new and unwrapped toy, and you could bring it to either Town Hall, that's in Manhasset, Clinton G. Martin Park in New Hyde Park, Yes We Can Community Center in Westbury, Port Washington Community Center in Port, and then Tully Park in New Hyde Park. So you'll see a big box. It's hard to miss. That's the Toys for Tot drive. And then we have also our veterans donation drive. And what I really like about this is it's going until December 31st. Which is really great. And this is benefiting the Northport VA Medical Center's Hero Hunger Help Project. They're looking for donations of supermarket and pharmacy gift cards to help veterans combat food insecurity. The Northport VA will distribute the gift cards to veterans receiving support services and for those that need them. They're looking for gift cards from ShopRite, Stop and Shop, CVS, and Walgreens. The drop-off locations are Town Hall, Village in New Hyde Park, Clinton G. Martin Park, and Tully Park. You can obviously call 311 or 516-869-6311 for more information on that. But I think, it's one of those things, if you're in the store, any amount helps. And it's a kind of a nice little thing to give back, especially this time of year. So it's really great that North Hempstead has all these wonderful, wonderful programs going on.
When you're talking about, being mindful and kind to others and all that stuff, of course, I teach yoga, and Mondays I've been teaching yoga for the town seniors. And one of the things that I teach in the very beginning of class, which most yoga classes open up, is we set an intention. And an intention is something that you want to accomplish for you. So much, I spend a lot of time talking about it because it has to sink in. This intention is for you. It's not for you to make sure you do something for your grandchild or your cousin or your spouse. It's actually for you. And it takes a while to sink in that it's okay to take care of yourself, to do special things for yourself, to be kind for yourself. And then, it's how I kind of start all my yoga classes. And it after class, it never fails. Somebody comes up to me and will say, God, I haven't really thought about it that way. Thinking about yourself. It's okay to think about yourself. It's why you come to yoga. You're there for an hour for you. No one else. It's not a competitive sport. So, you're coming to the mat for yourself. So being kind to others and helping others, it's beautiful. But you also have to learn to be kind to yourself and take time every day to do something for you. The better off you are, the better off everybody around you is going to be too. And people want to see the people they love happy, content, taking care of themselves, So I just want to say that and
I think it's important back, because I think that is something that's very difficult. I mean, I know it's difficult for as being someone who worries about many people in my life. It certainly is hard sometimes, and that's something that I really consciously tried to, and you have to rework your brain, right? You have to actually sit there and be like, all right, now I'm going to do this for me, and it's hard because I think a lot of times people think, oh my God, now I'm being selfish. I'm not you think you constantly be worrying about others, but it's so important to really do that for yourself too. So I love that. I like that.
Don't worry about what other people are thinking, because being selfish, is not always a bad thing. I mean, there's taking the time for yourself. I mean, you're the one walking in your shoes. You're the one, that people love. So, you want to take care of yourself. I know I want to see you take care of yourself. It's important that we all give that gift to our loved ones. Take some time for yourself, find that joy. And then when you do your breathing, it's much easier to think of something joyful, right? If you're in a good place and you're thinking about something really joyful and you take that time, that mindful breathing, it's with intention, those breaths that we take to kind of bring in something positive. And you can say, even release something negative, though I just say release to soften when you exhale. So I mean, mindfulness comes in so many different ways, and being mindful for yourself is so important.
And I think especially during this holiday season, when things can be very overwhelming, I think it is important to kind of step back sometimes, and to be mindful and to take care of yourself. We're always talking about mental health on the show, and that's something that really is just is so incredibly important, to really practice and to work on. Everyone will go to the doctor and get their physical or whatnot, but a lot of people neglect the mental health component of that, which is equally as important, that directly can affect your physical health,
right?
So
I took this workshop, I don't know if I talked about it a little bit on the show a couple of months, maybe like a month ago. And it was like a mindful workshop, but also a little bit of meditation. And the instructor was talking about, just kind of being in the moment. And, we talked a lot about living life just waiting for the next shoe to drop. A lot of us have,
Yeah.
especially if you have a big family, you
Oh,
have
yeah.
people moving. So all you do is like, okay, say you had a great day, everything went your way, do you own it, or do you in the back of your mind say, oh, well, this means the shoe's going to drop because things, things don't happen. But you know what? You know what he said? He said, guess what? The shoe is going to drop. Eventually, another shoe is going to drop. But also, good things are going to happen too. So if you want to wait around and not allow yourself to celebrate a great day, a wonderful meal, a successful day at work, people giving, making you feel happy or joyful, or whatever the reason is, and in the back of your head saying, oh, this is nice, but I'm just waiting for the phone call for this to happen.
Clearly you've been with my family back,
Listen, I think secretly, maybe not secret, we all live like that, and we have this kind of shoe drop mentality, like, oh, we can't celebrate fully because the shoe's going to drop. And, what he was saying was, yeah, well, the shoe is going to drop. Guess what? It's going to happen. But, great things are going to happen too. So, stay present. If good things are happening and you can stay present and enjoy it all, you might as well, because it's not, instead of saying, oh, I'm going to be shocked that the shoe's going to drop, no, it's probably going to happen, but good things too. So that was something really interesting. I thought it's just been, I don't know if I talked about it.
Yes. No, but I think we've talked, and I think it's so important though, because I'll talk about that all day, because that is something that, I love things like that, because it's not, being naive and your head in the clouds and you're living in sunshine and rainbows, but I think it's still, you're making a choice to, focus on the good. And I think that, I can't remember if it was you and I having this conversation, but, it was, and it might've been about like the same thing that you went to, the same training, that it's like, we spend so much of our lives, thinking about A, B, C, and D that could happen, and even good things, right? So like, I love Christmas. Oh my God, I can't wait for Christmas Day to come. But then it's like you're rushing time, and instead of just being in those individual moments leading up to it and being in the preparation, and that's something that that was me and you that had this conversation.
Yeah, wishing your life away.
Right. Yes, exactly. And that's something that after our conversation really stuck with me, because it was, obviously we know like, oh, you shouldn't do that with bad things, but it's with good things too,
Right.
It's like
Exactly.
And I was like, oh, that makes sense, so
because the only thing we're guaranteed really is this moment and the rest of the day in some way. And definitely planning is so important, because some people, when they love to travel, it's in them, they have to always be traveling and planning. But like I was, and what made me think about it that day, we were talking about it, was I have this incredible trip planned in August, and I'm like thinking about it so much. And I'm like, I can't wait. Like, I can't wait for this. It's going to be like just the most amazing thing. But, I've got 8 months in between to live. What am I going to do? Just like, so, in the back of my head, I'm rationally, I'm saying, okay, I'm going to live every day. But in the back of my head, it's like, oh God, August.
Yeah, it's okay. It's like the angel and devil on your shoulder kind of thing.
Right.
But it's something that is important. And I think that it's mental health is an exercise, like you're constantly working it out, and thinking, I mean, listen, there's no one who's got like an inner battle in their head more than myself, so I could speak from experience. It's like, on one hand what you should be doing, and then it's like, the stress and anxiety shoot you down. But I think it's okay, and it's to be kind to yourself and to not get mad at yourself for it either, is just important. So these are all things, right? And we're all about just stress management, especially during this holiday season. And I think, listen, the world is a scary place. And after COVID, I think that just completely rocked people's brains, because if you talk to anyone, it's something that no one ever really anticipated would happen. and the ripple effects from it and what it did to people, you know. I actually think that was like another conversation. You know, Beck and I like to have these conversations, and it was just, you know, not being able to tell your kids, like, it's gonna be okay. Like, you know, I've been through it. Don't worry about it. You know, so this was like the first time, like, I don't know how the story ends, like kind of situation.
Right. It's like
You know?
we were saying, we could say, you know, I could say to my sons
Yeah.
most of my life, you know, hey, that happened to me.
Yeah.
You're going to get through it, but we couldn't say that. But we actually have to take a quick break. You're listening to Project Independence in You Community Talk Radio, our Talk of the Town segment, and we will be right back after a quick break.
So I get this call from my grandma, and she's like,
"What's a podcast and how much does it cost?"
So I tell her, podcasts are like radio shows, but you can download them on any device and listen to them anywhere at any time, and they're free. And then she says,
"I see, but where can you find good ones?"
And I'm like, go to wcwp.org/podcast and check out the lineup of original shows, or download any podcast app on your phone or tablet and search for LIU Studios. And she's all like,
"Oh, that sounds easy."
And then she asked me what an app is.
LIU Studios podcasts, available on any podcast app. You know, those little button things on your phone screen. Just ask your grandkids.
And welcome back to Project Independence in You Community Talk Radio on 88.1 FM and WCWP.org. I'm Rebecca Miller, along with Kristina Lou. We are in our final segment of the show, our final talk of the town. And we had a great show, Kristina. Just kudos to another incredible year of this program. I mean, I know that our anniversary is in September, but I'm just talking
like
about the calendar year. And it's a great show. You bring in such wonderful guests, and of course, you know, thanks so much to Dan Cox, who just I don't know. He's just not going to give up on us. I have a feeling.
He's actually not. He's not allowed to. So
no, he knows. He knows where he belongs. But you know, it's just, you know, we are grateful for Dan and you know, this program and just everything. It's really it's joyful. It
is. You know what, Beck, and that's
we miss Otto.
You took the words right out of my mouth, because you know, having Otto, having our little family, and Dan, and you know, I just see, like, it is joyful, and it's, you know, we're getting, you know, such wonderful information that could really, you know, help someone else. And I think that that's what's just so cool about it, is that it doesn't like end, you know, our 2 hours isn't up and then it's like, okay, cool, you know, great show. It really goes on from there. You know, and I see it in just like little ways, you know, when we're trying to plan an event or a program, and I'm like, oh my God, I had this person on the radio show, or, you know, a social worker or nurse are looking for a referral, and we're able to connect them. You know, it's really just building a super amazing network. And that's really what Project Independence was. You know, it's this grassroots concept of just kind of getting all the resources that are available to you in the community. And we're really fortunate that there is like wonderful organizations. And, you know, I've been here, Becky, you've been here for many, many years. And, you know, I'm constantly learning what's out there and different resources. So it's just great to have a place to do it. And that is something that I will forever be grateful for, is this show and just like spreading really amazing, positive information. So it's a blast to do this with you every Friday, and I'm not gonna cry because I feel it coming. I feel it like
I think we'll wait another week for that.
I feel it building. You know, the closer we'll get to Christmas, I'll fully cry.
Don't.
But speaking of great work that we do, we had, which is so successful every year, is our Medicare Part D program. Our nurse Kelly Steinman organizes this with St. Francis. And St. John's, St. John's Pharmacy comes in and they really go through your plan. And this year, and it was a sold out program. We had 3 dates. They were all sold out. That the potential Part D savings were $59,465, which is crazy. You know, these are people who, you know, would have just stuck with their program, you know, and not have evaluated, you know, based upon what their new needs are. So the fact that this amount of money was the total amount of money saved just by people looking at and reevaluating their Medicare programs is amazing. So shout out to our wonderful social workers and nurses who just do great things every day. I mean, they are the real ones that are out there and in the homes with these seniors making a difference. So shout out to them. So other programs that are coming up in December, of course, we have our men's community group that meets on Fridays at the Hillside Public Library at 10:30 a.m. It's quite the great, lively bunch of men, and that's Krista, our social worker, facilitates it. Then we have our Fridays at Yes We Can start at 9:30 a.m. and that's with exercise for balance and strength. Then there's a little current events group and then a coloring portion. So that's a really great Friday if you're available and in the area. Yep. We have our bridge class that's really taking off that came to us from one of our advisory members actually. And Alverna said, I would love to do this. And we were like, let's make it happen. I mean, that's also some of my favorite is that we have such an amazing group of seniors that are in Project Independence and have like had these great skills and talents and come to us and want to do certain things. And if we can make it work, we're going to make it work. So
yeah, that's look forward to probably Canasta in 2023.
Yes, that's
more
right.
Information to follow on that.
Right. So that's over at Yes We Can, the bridge class, and you don't have to be skilled at it because it's for beginners. So you can call 311 for that. We have our caregiver to our spouse, your spouse support group. It was meeting via Zoom. It is now in person at Port Washington Adult Activity Center. It's really an important group. And so I encourage you, if you fall under that category, it really feels good to be part of this support group. We have our social discussion group that is still meeting via Zoom, and that meets on Thursdays at 11:30 a.m. We have our Golden Hearts bingo and blood pressure screenings. That's over at the Roslyn Community Center on Thursdays from 12 to 1. And I just have to say, I love that there's these support groups and social groups, like / social groups, because they kind of have both benefits. A lot of them are just really all over the town. And I think it's great because whatever you are near to, and if you live in one area and want to go somewhere else, more power to you. It's open to all, residents 60 and over in the town. Also coming up on Wednesday, December 14th is the Project Independence holiday party, which there'll be a light breakfast served. It's a really fun time for everyone that's part of the PI family, whatever you're a part of. You can come join, you need to register though. So that's 516-869-6311. There'll be entertainment. It's one of my favorite PI events because it's just, magical and it's nice for everyone to be together because we weren't able to do that for so many, years because of COVID. So to have that is really, really nice. And then on Thursday, December 15th, which is extremely important, it's the chat for the importance of a healthcare proxy. Our nurse, Kelly Steinman, and one of our social workers, Gail Sellis, will be doing a presentation at the Port Washington Adult Activity Center on just what is a healthcare proxy, why do you need a healthcare proxy to advocate for you, and just all the ins and outs. I think we know these terms, but we don't really know necessarily what a healthcare proxy does for you. So that is December 15th, my mommy's birthday, from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. So definitely register for that. Our St. Francis cardiac screening van is going all over the town. And in December, it will be December 19th. It will be at the Great Neck Social Center between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. You do not need to make an appointment, which is the best part of it. Flu shots will be offered. If you haven't gotten your flu shot, you're able to get it there. They are just such a great partner with North Hempstead. So I encourage everyone to check that out. Our partnership with Cornell Cooperative Extension does a monthly chat at Magnolia Gardens. And this month, it's going to be on Wednesday, December 21st from 2:30 to 3:30. And it is called Have a Merry Healthy Holiday, which is in theme to our show today. It's really just going to tell you how to kind of make your holiday meal healthier. So they will go over all the different food groups, and mindful eating tips they will be discussing. So I really encourage people to do that. And as I look at the little photo that's there, it's a very colorful photo, because as we learned today, it's all about the rainbow on your plate. And it just sounds fun. Who doesn't want to see a rainbow on their plate, you know? It's a rainbow anywhere, and then put it on my plate. You don't have to laugh, because every time I hear, people talking about the rainbow, and like, just especially when you're a senior, and I really learned this from my grandpa, because you are losing your taste buds, and your senses might be different than they used to be, and you just don't necessarily have the same kind of appetite that you once did. Really having a visually appealing plate in front of you can stimulate these things.
Right.
And I laugh with my grandpa, because bless his heart, when he was alive, towards the end, he had AIDS, and my grandpa would watch, and actually bless the AIDS hearts is really what I should say, is that he would watch these cooking shows, and he would be like, oh my God, he just like needed everything. And he would come up with these crazy recipes, as if these poor aides were, personal chefs that he would ask for. And he would always say, like, it needed to be visually pleasing to him. And if it wasn't, he wasn't afraid to tell you, Tasso would tell you, I don't know, I'm not eating this. I don't know what this is. But it always made me laugh, because he just was so big from the presentation, probably because he was like a photographer, and that's probably where I get it from, because I'm all about the aesthetically pleasing situation. But it has benefits, right? So Tasso taught me at a young age that's what we needed to do. So just a little reminder, it's a little thing goes a long way. There's also some space left if you are listening to the show live. Tomorrow at 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. is defensive driving. There's one more class for 2022 over at Clinton G. Martin Park. The cost is $25 for AARP members and $30 for non-members. I really encourage people take the defensive driving class. I mean, that's another thing that because I do it, however many years you have to, what is it, 3 years it's good for or something? I can't remember.
Yeah.
But, you always learn something, it's one of those things that you're like, oh my God, I've been driving for so long. And like, it's a good refresher. Plus it can, take money off, which is an added benefit, or, take some points down that you might have.
And $25 is a pretty good rate for this course.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you have to call 311
yes.
too to register. Just
absolutely
make sure there is still space available.
But definitely check that out. And that's just something. Listen, we are fortunate in the town of North Hempstead to have the call center that has all of this information. We send all of our information. All the other departments send their information as well. So just always call them. And I always say to people, you might not even know what you're looking for, but just to call and to make that contact, and the call takers are just wonderful, and they'll get your call to the right place. So
and Kay, one of the flyers you have in the packet, I don't know if you brought it up, was why shop local.
Yeah, so I love this
flyer.
And that was I thought, listen, we're in the shopping season, and of course It's very easy to order online from things, and it's okay to do both, because I'm the queen of I will do both. And I think just shopping local is just such an important thing. And there was a flyer that North Hempstead came in, but North Hempstead is really trying to partner with local businesses and showcase local businesses. Every so weeks, a couple of weeks, there'll be kind of a spotlight on a local business. And I think that's what makes our communities so special, are these, mom and pop and unique kind of stores. I mean, Beck, where you are, there's so many super cool little shops. And I just think that this flyer was so impactful, because it just, you hear it, you're like, oh, shop local sounds great. But it was just saying, all the different things that shopping local can do. And just some of it was job creation. Small businesses employ more than 52% of the nation's employees and creates 2 out of every 3 new jobs. Community investment, charitable contributions. Locally owned businesses contribute more to local charities and fundraisers than their national counterparts. Reduce environmental impacts. This one really struck me. Reducing the amount of materials and products that are bought from national retail chains helps reduce your ecological footprint, which I thought was
Right.
real. It's like things that you just don't think of,
Right.
better customer service. When shopping at local businesses, you're seen as an individual and you can have more of a rapport. Keeping the community unique, as I had said, listen, there's nothing I love more than a unique little shop that I stumble upon. It's a running joke. Anytime I'm traveling to a new place, my husband wants to turn the car around when he drives through a town, because you let me loose in a little town with little fun shops. That's my favorite thing. And of course, it keeps money in the community, which is important. So I think,
you're investing in your own town.
It's just there's, especially during the holiday season, I think it was that they have like these little events and days where it's about shopping local. And I think there was one a couple of weeks ago. But even just now, there's just like unique little things that you can find, and it's important to keep these shops in the community. So definitely, if you're thinking, go to your local Main Street or whatever it might be.
Absolutely. And also keep in mind that a lot of the smaller shops do a huge portion of their business during the holidays.
Yes.
So, and it's able to keep them open also during the year. So please stop in, even just to get one little thing, and be most appreciated.
And that's where you find just the coolest things, It really
Your
is.
little nuggets on Main Street.
That's right. Like, Beck has gotten me a lot of really cute things from, these little shops, and that's my my favorite thing.
Oh, I have,
So definitely good little reminder around the holidays. To do that. And I just wanted to, there was another thing I had here. I'm trying to, and that was it. Speaking of shopping local, North Hempstead lifted Port Washington street meter parking restrictions for the holiday season. So even more, Port Washington is filled with amazing little shops and restaurants. So the fact that now that is lifted is really great. So
do they have it? Is it for the whole month of December? Do you have the
it
date?
actually it went from November 26th to January 1st.
Okay.
Which is really great.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, it's a fun thing. Not having to pay for parking is really great.
So Kristina, what's different in your house this year? Do you do something nouveau every holiday season, or is it always the same? So
I do. So this year, because I do like, I have my traditional things that I must put out and that I need. But we always Jay and I did the outside pretty much. We still have some other little things to do. But really working full time and trying to decorate your house is really difficult. So I haven't been getting too much sleep, but we're okay. So we like to change it up, and inside, our living room, this is when did we do this? I guess almost a year ago, we redid our living room. So there's things are different. So now I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to re-envision where I normally used to put certain things. And I've been trying to be a little more minimalistic with things, which is a difficult task for me because I love a keepsake, and everything has a sentiment. I was schlepping in boxes last night, and of course my husband's like, it's too heavy, I'll do it tomorrow, but that just goes in one ear and out the other for me. I need it done now. And there's so many boxes, I don't even know where to begin, and that's not including the ornament boxes. So it's a thing, but I love it because and that's finding your joy is really what it is. To someone else this might seem like an overwhelming, terrible task, because I get sidetracked and then I start organizing things because I'm like, pulling different things and I'm like, well, now I need to reorganize. But it brings me joy, right? So that's my thing. I know the final product will be nice. There's nothing I love more than twinkling Christmas lights. So so that's where we're at. Little by little, that's it, Beck. It's finding your little thing that brings you happy. So do that, especially during this season. There was something else I wanted to remind people, and I'm trying to look through my notes because my papers are.
I'll mention quickly, but I think we are coming to the end of the show. So next week I'll talk a little bit more about the schedule for 2023 for Project Independent Fitness. But
that's exactly what I was going to think. That's perfect.
There we go. We'll talk a little bit about it. It hasn't been set up yet, but we do have to go. It's another wonderful show, Kristina. We missed Otto.
Yes, we did miss Otto, but great show back.
And we'll be back next week. You're listening to Project Independence and You, Community Talk Radio on 88.1 FM and WCWP.org. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody.
Be kind to yourself, everyone.